Happy Tuesday, leaders. Happy Tuesday. I hope that you all have been prospering in your purpose and dominating in your destiny. Merry Christmas, a whole day late. Hope that you all enjoyed your Christmas as well. Welcome, welcome. I am elated to jump on here today. As you're coming in, I want you to let me know where you are watching from. Good to see you, Miss Lisa. Let me know where you are watching from. I also want to know, how was your Christmas? Okay. I told some people on my stories, because I didn't get a chance to post anything yesterday, but I told some people on my stories that I was super tight this year, because usually I leave the country. My family's all over the world. But this year I was actually in America, okay? I was in America. And it was cool. I got to see The Color Purple. So who else has saw that movie? I have a little bit of mixed emotions, but it was super creative. I love the storyline. The music was amazing. The acting, top tier. Okay, there were so many stars in there. Who saw The Color Purple? Let me know who saw The Color Purple. Type me. That's me if you saw it yesterday. That was something I got to do on Christmas, so I'm elated about that. As you're coming in, let me know that you are here. I would love to virtually meet you and greet you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you are watching the replay, you already know what to do. Type hashtag replay, letting me know that you were in the comments, that you were here watching this video, getting this information. I am excited to run this back. Somebody commented that's been in our crew for a long time. Shout out to Miss Lisa from New York. I am elated to talk about 5 ways to spice up your writing, which is essentially just becoming more creative, or increasing or enhancing your creative intelligence as a writer. So I want you to type in the comments creativity if you are excited to learn more about creativity and how to enhance your creative intelligence as a writer. One of the ways that I came up with this was because one of my mentors once said, do not become too familiar with your gifts. And when she said that, y'all, immediately I asked God, what is one gift that I have that I've become so familiar with? I want you guys just to pause really quickly, and I want you just to think about, what is one gift that you have that you are too familiar with? Like, you do it so easy. Good to see you, Colleen. You do it so easily that it doesn't even take you so much time to think about it. You're just so natural at it. You're super talented. You're gifted at this thing. What is it that you are taking for granted? I want you to type in the comments and just think about it. And while you're doing that, welcome. There's some new people here. My name is Takumbo Okalaja. Some of you call me Coach Takumbo, and I'm glad about it. I am the founder of Takumbo the Leader, where we help emerging leaders discover voice, identity, and purpose so that they can dominate in their destiny. I'm also the founder of Write Your Book Academy. I want you to type WYBA if you are alumni, if you have ever taken one of our courses in WYBA. That is our course where we help leaders to write, self-publish, and sell their faith-based books. Type WYBA if you are an alumni of that. Good to see you, Josh. Good to see you, Josh. I was in Atlanta. I wish I was able to see you. WYBA. Shout out to you, Miss Lisa. She's been in the camp. She was in the first Write Your Book Academy, and Miss Lisa has 2 books, okay, because of the academy. She used the same principles, but I'm not going to talk about that tonight because we have that coming up in April. We have that registration coming up in April. Good to see you, Courtney from Miami as well. Good to see you hopping up on here as well. We're going to talk about 5 ways to spice up your writing. If you're excited about that, I want you to throw some spices in the comments. 5 ways to spice up your writing. I was going to name this 5 ways to become a spicy writer, and then my friend was like, girl, do not post that. So you have to have some friends that will help you out really quickly. But I'm not going to be before the saints too long, because I know you all have to go back to holiday festivities, so do I. But the first thing that's going to help you to become, or to spice up your writing, number 1, type in the comments, become a word nerd. That's the first thing that's going to help you to spice up your writing. Sometimes we get so bored with our writing gift. We become so lackadaisical about our writing gift because you need to do something different. And so one of the things that helps me to be excited about writing, going back into my writing projects, is that I find out new vocabulary words. And check this out. I also put them in my phone, I keep a list of them. I keep a document in my phone, and anytime that I hear a word, if somebody is teaching, if they're preaching, if I'm just watching TV, I'm really a nerd, y'all. I will sit there and I will open my phone immediately and I will start typing that word in my phone, and then I'll go find the definition of that word. Whenever you are listening to somebody and you have no clue why they are you have no clue what this word means, instead of just sitting there, just take that word and say, you know what, I'm going to go find the definition of this word. And what else the other thing I like to do is I like to look up the synonyms of that word, and then I like to look for the antonyms of that word. And then I take it a step further and I like to create sentences immediately from that particular word so that I can put it in context, or so that I can remember what this word means so that I can use it at any given time. You're going to have way more fun in your writing if you're not using the same words over and over again. And one of the things that I tell my students is that if you are reading your manuscript, if you're going back over your manuscript and you use the same word multiple times, you need to go find a thesaurus, go to thesaurus.com, and then look up a different word for that particular word on thesaurus.com, so that you're not using the same word over and over again. You're not repeatedly using that same word. So one of the words I use a lot in some of my books is the word leader, and so I have to figure out different ways to say the word leader. Also, if you want to enhance your vocabulary, I tell some of my students, like, instead of using boring and flat vocabulary words like sad, I tell them to use words like melancholy. Instead of using words like bad, we're going to upgrade. Type in the comments upgrade. You're going to upgrade. Instead of saying bad, you're going to say abysmal. Instead of saying something was favorable or you were happy, I tell my students to upgrade and use words like auspicious. And so you need to figure out how you can say the same words, but say them in a different way and become a word nerd. Number 2, I want you to type in the comments punctuation power. One of the things that has helped me is that I love to figure out what other punctuation marks mean. I love to throw in different punctuation marks really quickly. Let me know in the comments, what is your favorite punctuation mark? When I was younger, my teacher used to be like, you know what, you are comma crazy. You are doing the most with these commas, okay? And so now that I'm an adult, I love throwing in a semicolon. Find out what an ellipsis means. There's about 14 punctuation marks in our language, and so figure out how to use those punctuation marks. I've seen some people use the M dash. I've seen people use ellipses. I've seen people use commas, periods, exclamation points. Punctuation is going to help you. When you find out what punctuation means and how powerful it is in your writing, you're going to have way more fun when it comes to your writing projects, okay? I'm trying to help you all to not get bored with your assignment, because I know that there's some people that know that they're called to write right now, but they're just stuck in a rut. They don't know, they don't have any, they're not full of any creativity right now. And so I want you to no longer be bored with your writing gift and not to be familiar with it, really, because writing is a gift for other people. So number 1, you're going to become a word nerd. Number 2, you're going to find out what different punctuation means. You're going to throw in some different punctuation marks. You're no longer going to use just a period in every sentence. You're no longer just going to use a comma. You're going to find out what M dashes mean. You're going to find out how to use a semicolon and so forth. Number 3, another way for you to actually spice up your writing is that you need to do something called meditation. And when I say meditation, this means like meditating on the scriptures. This means sitting in silence and solitude. So type in the comments meditation. When you are a person that turns off music, you turn off social media, you turn off all these different voices, then your creative energy, your creative juices are actually going to start to flow, because you're not taking in so much information from other people. When I'm actually in a rut, or when I don't feel creative, or when I'm exasperated for a season or for a time, I actually end up turning off everything. Like, I won't watch YouTube. I will stop listening to Spotify. I'll stop going on Facebook. Why? Because you're taking in you're taking in other people's creativity, and you don't have time to think about your own stuff. You don't have time to create anything because you're pulling from other resources. You're pulling from other people. And yes, you should be inspired, but sometimes you're not inspired because you're not sitting in silence and solitude. You're not sitting with yourself and trying to listen to God's voice. And so if you're going to spice up your writing, you need to practice meditation. And I tell people you should really practice sitting in silence for 15 minutes a day, because that's actually going to help you. That's something that we learned in grad school, and it's helped me with my focus also too, and like increasing my productivity, because I start to dream, I start to think again. Your imagination can start to flow, because some of us are not even using our imagination to the best of its ability, because we're not letting our mind rest. We're not letting our mind settle. You're taking in so much information. You're bombarded with information. The noises are reverberating. And so sit silently, and then you're going to begin to get all these creative ideas start to flow in your mind when you are focusing or when you are practicing meditation. Let me know in the comments if you actually practice meditation. I would love to know. But I would challenge you to sit in silence at least 10 minutes or more a day. Practice 10 minutes and then increase it to 20 minutes to 30 minutes as well. Good to see you, Chris, coming in. Number 4, when you are done with meditation, you're going to go into journaling. When you are journaling, and I want you all to share this on Facebook. If you can on IG, you can. But on Facebook, go ahead and share this if you know you have some friends that are supposed to be writing and they're not using their writing gift. I hope that this is going to encourage them. I hope that this is going to empower your friends and your family to get started on their writing projects. Good to see that Courtney is following along. All right, number 4, journaling. When you're journaling after meditation, you're not looking for something exact. You're not writing to a prompt. You're just allowing the Holy Spirit to flow through you. You have no aim here. You have no goal here when you are journaling. You're not trying to find something. You're not trying to find there's not a prompt here. There's no end game here. I feel like when you have no end game, you can freely flow and not be constricted or restricted with anything. Because now you're not like, oh, I got to answer this prompt. I got to answer this question. I got to put all these details in my answer. No. When you're done with meditation, you need to practice journaling for at least 15 more minutes or more a day. And it should just be a free-flowing thing. It shouldn't be something that is restricted. It shouldn't be something where you're looking for an end game here. I love doing this because let me tell you a secret that are people that are watching. Sometimes you'll start journaling something and you won't even understand what you're talking about. But if you are a prophetic scribe for real, type prophetic scribe if that's you. At the end of it, the Lord is going to give you a title for that particular message. You know that some people teach and they preach and they say, I don't have a title for this yet. But I believe that if you are practicing journaling and you're just flowing with God, you're just flowing and just getting stuff out of your system, at the end of it, you actually may get an answer or direction for what you were writing. This is actually how I started writing my first book. I was just writing, and I told people this in the post that I posted today about the devotional webinar. But my first book, good to see you, Corey. I literally was just writing down stuff, and I was processing a death that happened in my family, and the Lord was just having me just to write. And I was writing poetry. I was like, I'm not even a poet. And I just kept writing all this gloom and doom and dark stuff. And I was like, this is fire. And then the Lord was like, okay, I need you to come out of that dark stuff, and I need you to actually write something that's positive. And so then I started writing some positive things. And here's the thing too. I'm going to give you another writing coaching tip. If you are using writing for deliverance or you're using writing for inner healing, then I want you to go back at the end of it. Like if God is showing you like, hey, this can actually be a book, because that's how I ended up writing my first book, was that God was like, okay, this is the actual book. And so I need you to put this in book form. And so I went back and I had to take out all the gloom and doom stuff, right? The stuff that we were bleeding on our audience. I had to take that stuff out, and I had to only leave what was wisdom there and not what was bleeding and what I was just trying to get out of my system. And so when you're doing the journaling portion, don't try to look for a purpose or an end game here. Just do it free form. Don't put any restrictions on yourself. I would tell you, not okay, poet. I would tell you that you would just write for fun, and then your creativity is gonna start to flow. You're gonna start to see different things. I've written workbooks because of this, because of just flowing and not really understanding what I was writing at the end. Lastly, number 5, type in the comments figurative language, and you would actually have to come to the devotional webinar to get into this, because I can't go deep into figurative language. But figurative language is things such as, you remember these things, alliteration, which is the initial repetition of consonant sounds. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. Like throwing those in. If you know how to use figurative language, you should know how to use it strategically when you are writing your books. And so you would know, okay, this is a light and a fun area, so I'm going to put alliteration here. Peter Piper picks a peck of, Peter Piper. Yeah, y'all know that one, right? The initial repetition of consonant sounds. That's alliteration. So figurative language is language or meanings or things that are not meant to be taken literally. And so alliteration is one. Hyperbole, which is an extreme exaggeration. Type in the comments hyperbole. So an example of hyperbole is, man, I'm so hungry I could eat a cow. And so you would know when to put that into your particular book. You would know when to put that into your particular manuscript. Next is imagery. You're going to use imagery when you are trying to paint a picture. You're going to use your five senses. You are going to talk using your five senses. So you're going to allow your reader to taste, to see, to feel, to hear things. If you are a great writer, you are going to be able to bring your writing to life with the use of imagery. And then I tell people to use similes, which is comparing two unlike things using the words like or as, or you can use metaphors, which is comparing two unlike things without using the words like or as. I cannot get into this because I have to jump off soon, but you need to come to the Write Your Devotional webinar. I want you to go sign up right now. If you're on IG, go to my bio right now and sign up. It's free. And this will be the only time in 2024 that we are doing this Create Your Devotional webinar, Write Your Devotional webinar. I want you to make sure that you are in here for this. I'm going to repeat what I just taught, but 5 ways to spice up your writing. Number 1, become a word nerd. Keep a list of vocab words in your phone. Whenever I'm writing a project and I'm bored, and I'm like, I've been using the same words incessantly. I'm going to go back and I'm going to take some new words out. What are some new words that you guys learned this year? I wrote some down here to share with you. I learned the word tantamount, myopic. So if you're having a myopic time when you're writing, then use these tools that I'm giving you. Number 3, indomitable, acrimonious, marauding. Like these are just words I just wrote, and I literally will make a list. I'll write 2023, 2024. These are the words I learned in 2024. These are the words I learned in 2020. And when I'm writing, I just go into that document and I just look up. I'm like, okay, I want to use this word in my manuscript. Okay, I want to use idyllic in my manuscript. Okay, I want to use indomitable. I want to use capitulate because I heard it somewhere. And you know when you read the Bible, there's some vocab words that you don't know. So go get a dictionary and go look up the definition of that word, y'all. Let's just stop looking at these words and be like, oh, that's a big word. Let's go look them up. And then let's put them in our own writing and use them in the proper context. Number 2, punctuation power. Look up some different punctuation marks, throw them into your writing, spice it up by using different punctuation marks. Number 3, you have to practice meditation if you are going to increase your creativity. You cannot be taking in so much information all day long. You have to be very strategic about what voices you're listening to. You have to meditate and sit before the Lord. Spend time, 15 minutes, just sitting there, not looking for anything. And I feel like when you come out of that meditation, creative ideas are going to just start to flow. And you've seen this with your own self when you sit in silence. And some of you have come to our challenges where we have you all sit in silence and then we start journaling right after. What you're going to do, you're going to journal after you meditate, and you're not going to be looking for any end game here. You're going to just be journaling, free flowing. God may give you a workbook idea. He may give you a devotional idea, and you're just going to flow as you are writing. And lastly, you are going to figure out how to use figurative language. Type in the comments, figurative language. It's good to see that you're in there. Type in the comments, I'm in there, as Ms. Porter did. I'm in there. If you're going to be coming to this devotional webinar, we have 3 other coaches that are going to be there. They have multiple books, and so I invited them to come because I wanted us to all learn from these authors as well. I wanted us to learn how to be able to unlock our prophetic scribe gift, how to unlock our roar, and how to unlock our creativity. We have 3 days. In the morning, what we did the years before, I think we did this webinar 2 years ago, so we didn't even do it last year. So we did this webinar 2 years ago. Oh, Lord, let me go plug in my computer. 1 second, so that I can finish on Facebook. Let me know if you have any questions on here. But we had, we did 3 days. And so what we did was we had morning, we had AM devotion. And so we prayed And so this year, Prophet Ricky's actually going to be activating prophetic scribes. And so he'll give us prophetic scribe declarations. And if you don't have my book, A Guide for the Prophetic Scribe, you need to get it. And then night one, we're actually going to hear from Coach Tanika, and I'm going to be teaching as well. I'm going to be talking about narrowing down your writing topic, and she's going to be discussing with you all as well how she was able to be transparent and vulnerable and narrow down her topic, because I know that there's a lot of writers who do not want to be transparent and vulnerable. And so we're going to teach you how to do it in a tactful way. We're going to teach you how to do it in a strategic way, because there's a blueprint on how to write these devotionals. And so we hope to encourage you in that way. Day 2, we're going to do Unlock Your Roar, where we're going to begin to give you declarations and decrees to increase your confidence. Good to see you, Evan. To increase your confidence as a writer. And then that night, I'm actually going to be coaching you all on how to organize your devotional. I have a workbook, and I show people how to write their devotional with this map. And so I want you to join in to get that blueprint. Go to my bio and get that, and then make sure that you get that workbook, because the way that I write a traditional manuscript is not the same way that I write a devotional. That is a totally different pathway. And so I have a simple secret sauce for devotionals. Good to see you, Yasuko. And so I want you to get in so that you can get that organization. How do I frame my devotional? How do I structure my devotional? We're going to give you practical tips. We're going to pray, and then we're going to be practical, because y'all know I used to be a writing teacher, so I'm about that life, about that organization life, about that organized books, organized writing life. And then day 3, we're going to do Unlocking Our Creativity. I'm excited about that. We're going to have declarations to increase our creative intelligence, to enhance our creative skills, our creative thinking skills. And then during that night, we're going to have Coach Jamal come in, and he is a multiple author as well. And he's going to be encouraging you all. He's super creative. And so I want him to encourage you all and to give you creative ideas on how to write your next devotional. And I'm going to give you all some creative writing tools, some of the things I was not able to expound on tonight. I'm going to explicate on that during the devotional webinar. Who's in there? Type I'm in there. If you come into the devotional webinar, I'm excited. That's actually one of my favorite classes to teach. We had so much great feedback years ago, and so I'm excited to bring it back in 2024. I believe we did it in 2022. And so we're only going to do it one time for free, so you better make sure that you are in this room, because we are not doing it after this. Let me know if you have any questions. I will be happy. Good to see you, Miss Shara. Good to see you, Miss Porter. You're in there. Good to see you, Colleen. You're in there. You're in there. Awesome. Make sure that you share this with your friends, letting them know that we are going to be doing this devotional webinar. All right, I'm out of here. If you all don't have any questions or concerns, I'm out. It was good to see you all. I hope that you all had a great and auspicious Christmas. And I hope to see you all at the devotional webinar. Write your devotional webinar. You're going to learn a blueprint. You're going to learn strategies on how to write a devotional in 30 days or less. I believe that if you understand your message, you understand your audience, you are very clear about what God has called you to speak about, and you know who your audience is, you should be able to write a devotional in 30 days or less. If you're very clear about those areas, I'm confident that you should be able to write one in 30 days or less. Type challenge accepted if you believe that for yourself. Challenge accepted. Type that in the comments really quickly. All right. Good to see you all. Thank you all so much. I hope to see you all at the webinar, and have a great rest of your night. Love you like a leader, and I'll leave a legacy in writing with y'all later. Good night.